Friends, education needs innovative ideas. If we were to realize the objectives of the national education policy, student-centric learning, personalized learning, these are all the new terms which need close watching as we move forward. Customer is king is a long understood adage in the industry. Is it the same and applied to education as well? For long, education has been teacher driven. NEP changes that. Henceforth, it will be student driven. Friends, let's explore some of these ideas this Saturday. What is innovation? It starts as an idea that addresses the market needs. It must create value for both the students and the stakeholders. And every institution and university should be looking at it, especially when the shelf life of the skills has been reducing with each intervention of technology. Theory only, as is done in many of our institutions, must change to blended learning or hybrid learning with special emphasis on competency-based skills. Innovation must start with the teaching learning process. Current pedagogies must be reinvented and innovated for better outcomes. Like all skills, teaching skills too need to be upgraded. Reskilling, upskilling are the new answers. Today, universities need new business models as well. Sometimes tried and trusted methods that have delivered in other universities of eminence must be retrofitted for success. Innovation implies value creation. Universities of the future will also need to change their organizational structures, change the business models, adopt cooperative structures, enhancing intra, and multidisciplinary approaches, and redefine the concepts for faculties and departments. Collaboration is the answer. We must ask what the country is receiving for the crores spent on higher education and if it is effective at all. Learning outcome assessment for determining institutional effectiveness must be reinvented for different forms of education delivery. The world moved from simple open loop assessment systems, practices, which were input based, to more reliable closed loop techniques that followed measurements of outcomes through feedback. It is time we moved from closed loop accreditation methodology to more adaptive based systems for quality assurance. The future universities must adopt quality assurance as a way of life, guaranteeing quality educational services rather than fall back on rankings, ratings, and outdated accreditation procedures. The examination officers must invent new roles with students opting for flexible degrees, designer degrees, or certifications, and even provide opportunities for acceleration in education according to the innovation cycles. Universities must worry about stakeholders going to courts on undelivered promises, undelivered programs and outcomes. The answer is simple. They must innovate to survive. Teachers too must innovate with new teaching methods and pedagogies. Online content must be extensively used as it has strong repeatability. Teachers must hold students with online content and appropriate tutorials. Flipped classrooms, social media, new teaching infrastructures like equipment for virtual worlds must be seamlessly integrated. Digital rights management must be made an imperative. As much as saying the teaching methods have to innovate, even the learning methods must suitably innovate. The ecosystem today demands a move over from massive to personalized learning. However, an effective and optimized blend must exist between the two. Investments in new learning infrastructure, for example, increased computing capacities or augmented reality, virtual reality devices must be made use of. To realize the 50 GER that the NEP proposed, a shift from presence learning to distance learning must be made. However, the traditional distance learning should transform into blended hybrid learning. Some academicians think that creativity and innovation are synonyms. They are not. Creativity is coming up with new idea, whereas innovation is using the idea to solve the pain points and creating value in the system. If the university has to survive and thrive amongst thousands similar, then requirements of students must be answered. Innovation allows the university to stay competitive. In India or anywhere in the world, education is the only business that will always be recession free. It will always have a solid customer base. The teaching learning pedagogies of must be excellent, and courses must be very contemporary. They may also have perfectly wrought supply chains. The number of enrollments too may be growing. But remember, outside the university ecosystem, education paradigm is changing quickly. If one stands still or continues business as usual, she will be at risk. What will happen to the universities that do not innovate? They will be at the risk of becoming irrelevant, reduce their productivity, lose students, and ultimately go out of business. Have you not seen institutions closing down? Universities will increasingly require to take stock and measure impact, whether by qualitative means like interviews to assess customer satisfaction or quantitative means like outcome metrics. Innovation in a company can transform the existing business model to adapt to changing environment, satisfy existing but unwanted market needs, bring new technologies, products or services to the market, create entirely new markets, and effectively react to market disruption. Are universities any different? How do universities innovate then? Firstly, universities may try incremental innovation to increase efficiency in the current processes. For example, increasing digital offerings, cutting costs of upgrading the infrastructural facilities, especially the laboratories and services. Universities could spend as much as 60% of their effort, whether money or manpower, in incremental innovation. Secondly, universities could indulge in expansive innovation, helping them to grow in the long term. The competitors may not follow this route. Complete digital transformation and artificial intelligence driven smart campus are in this category. This may, need some testing and prototyping and may take a year or two. A university must focus about 30% of its efforts on expansive innovation. Thirdly, a university could try disruptive innovation. It could try new programs and services that are needed in the industry and for research. It must create a completely new business model with a novel value proposition. It means a university must constantly invent and reinvent its offerings. The rewards are great, but come with some uncertainty and take 3 to 4 years to succeed. Universities should devote at least 10% of their effort to disruptive innovation. What can universities, that are going downhill do? They could try out business model innovation, where the university processes transform radically and also innovate the way their products are brought to the market. However, this could be very, very challenging. The leaders in the universities have a strategic role to play and can truly drive innovation. But they can also be stumbling blocks. To succeed, they must allow a certain amount of freedom, for their team to explore solutions. Innovating is like entrepreneurship and must allow a degree of creative trial and error. Remember, innovation is not everyone's job and cannot be done here. Mindset must be discarded. That must change. Friends, that was my take on some issues that concern education as it is sought to be implemented today. Hope you enjoyed it. Let us meet again the next Saturday for yet another episode of interest. Until then, dhanyawad, thank you and namaskar.